Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CFL Central. CFL content for the fans, by the fans. I don't even want to speak right now. What'd you think of this game, Rick?
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie.
Continue.
Your parents are probably like, "What the hell did he just do?" Do we need to rerun the Manscaped commercial to explain what just happened?
No, we do not. No, we don't.
So I will be honest. I will be honest.
Yeah.
I did receive text messages from the girlfriend, if she's listening to this, because I know she does listen to this.
Yep.
She said she wanted Montreal to win, so she was yelling and cheering and screaming in her apartment.
That's just lovely.
To put more flame on the fire. Most Hamilton Ticat fans were cheering for Montreal.
Of course they were, because they wanted the Bombers to experience exactly what the Ticats did, which is lose twice in a row. That's what they wanted. That's what everyone outside of Manitoba was looking for. That everyone outside of Manitoba was looking for the Bombers to lose this game.
Technically, my dad was cheering for Winnipeg. I was cheering for Montreal.
Your dad was cheering for Winnipeg.
Yeah, he thought that Winnipeg was going to come out and beat Montreal.
Maybe we need to get your dad on the pod, you know? I'm kidding. Oh my goodness. I hate that we have to. I talked for 30 minutes about everything I despised about this game yesterday, and I have to do it again. I have to talk about this stupid game where we just like. There's gonna be some changes here with Winnipeg. There's gonna be some changes, and there needs to be some changes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying it right now. Was not a fan of Buck Pierce this game. Yeah. It's second and 12. 5-yard screen pass. That's gonna get us the first down. No, it's not. It's not gonna give us shit. It's not going to give us shit. It's like, all right, 2nd and 14. What are we doing? We got to pull out that jet sweep, baby. Like, oh, my God. What are we doing? Like, why is it that all year we can throw the long bomb for Kenny Lawler? We can do it for Dalton Schoen. Dalton Schoen was ready this game. He was healthy. Big Hill was healthy. But let's be real here. He was not, but they put him in anyway. We're able to do the long ball plays all year, but then he gets so conservative, so scared, so paranoid when it comes to these big name games to play bold. Montreal played bold from start to finish because they knew that's what it took to win. The Bombers tried to play conservative, not try to go for that long ball because we can't risk interception. Newsflash, in the playoffs, Zach Collaros, since the pandemic season, Zach Collaros is 4 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in these playoff games with us playing conservative. So maybe we can just play our game, the one that got us first in the West, the one that beat Montreal twice. But no, we have to change our play because we can't do that anymore, because the only time we can do the long ball is when we're 17 yards away from the goal line and Montreal sees it coming. That's the only time we can do it. The only time we can do a risky play is when the risky play is predictable. It's so predictable. And so it's one of those things where we're able to get away with it because we have so much talent on this team. But it's one of those things where when you run into a team like the Alouettes that are just hot at the right time, the Alouettes got red hot. And it was like, okay, so even first half, fine. I'm not happy of us giving up a touchdown is what it is. That defense on the 1-yard line to prevent the Alouettes from getting there.
That was by my end.
Why didn't we see more of that? Why is it that we can stop them on the 1 However, we feel the need to just let Austin Mack get 30-yard passes like left, right, and center.
One-handed passes, don't
Yes,
forget.
one-handed. Yeah, there you go. And the other hand is slapping me across the face.
A couple of things. First of all, I'm going to stand by with what I've been saying all season.
Yep.
It does not matter where you
that's true. Yeah.
finish in the standings.
No, that's true. That's true because all it takes is for you to forget to play football in the third quarter and you piss it all away anyway.
Or your defense just doesn't show up in the fourth.
Yeah, although again, I have more of an issue with the third quarter here than the fourth because like the third quarter, because at least in the fourth quarter we were able to get something because the Winnipeg Blue Bombers feel this need for we get a lead, and when I say lead, I say that very loosely. Like 3 points, we're calling a lead, okay? The Bombers feel the need when they get this lead, they're gonna sit back, they're gonna wait on that, but then all of a sudden, oh no, the other team got more points. I guess we gotta get back into the game. And then that's when they start playing. The problem is that the last touchdown they scored on us, there was 12 seconds left in the game. There's no time for this nonsense. Why do we have to wait for teams to score against us to take the lead away from us, for it to dawn upon us from the divine power of Jesus that we need to start playing football again?
I guess O'Shea didn't learn from your guys' loss to Ottawa at the very last few seconds. Also,
I don't even have a problem. I don't have a problem with O'Shea. You know what? I'm fine with Osh. I'm fine with Osh because he has that calming presence that is so necessary in these situations. Again, my frustration is more towards future Saskatchewan Roughriders head coach Buck Pierce. Because I was disappointed with, I know people were talking about the defense, and I totally get that. The pass rush was not there. It was not. Like, we went from 9 sacks against BC, who'd done pretty decent on the offensive line side of things, to Montreal, who are giving up record break. We literally, if you watch any of our videos through the whole season, literally Rick would be like, let's see if they passed Saskatchewan last year, because they got sacked over and over and over and over again. And you're telling me that we then gave up 4 sacks against them and only got a few. Like, the thing is, and even when we weren't getting so we don't always have to get a sack, but if you're not getting a sack, put some pressure on Fajardo. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, I've seen Fajardo play in Montreal and Saskatchewan, and this game, I don't think I've ever seen Fajardo look so calm, because most of the time he's running away from Blue Bombers. He's never had to do that for this last game.
I know Halloween was like 3 weeks ago, but did anyone check to see if
I'm just disappointed.
Claros was not Fajardo and Fajardo was not Claros? Because this is the first time I've seen Winnipeg play where Claros has not thrown 1 touchdown, and this is the first time I've seen Fajardo.
He didn't throw a touchdown against BC.
Okay, well, I mean,
yeah.
Besides that, and this is the first game I think this year where I've seen Fajardo throw 3 touchdowns. If it's not,
because Montreal realized that it's do or die, that this is the big game, and some guys in Winnipeg realized that, some guys did. Some guys did not. I thought that you know what? I thought in terms of pass rush, I thought Willie Jefferson's game was okay. I didn't think it was too bad. Adam Bighill. I love Adam Bighill. Bighill should not have played. Not because he's not capable, but because he was not 100%. Like, you're telling me that one-legged Bighill is better than Jesse Briggs? Really? Really? Is that the hill we're going to die on? Because I'm pretty sure I saw Adam Bighill get beat for the touchdown pass. And it's one of those things where don't blame it on Bighill. It's like, he's a football player. He's a tough son of a gun. It's one of those things where, like, if you're going to ask him if he's ready to play, he could have a bone sticking out of his chest and he'd still say he's ready. At that point, it's on the coaching staff to make sure that someone that's healthy that is going in, because it's one of those things where, again, like, and I didn't find this is really an issue with Schoen, because, even with Schoen, if it was still recovering from something, it was not noticeable in terms of performance-wise. Big Hill, it was blatantly evident. There were times where he had to come off for 3 plays to kind of recoup his knee a little bit. There were times where he was clearly limping after plays. There were times where he just was not able to run at the speed he normally could. And the thing is that Montreal saw that and they used that to their advantage, because of course they did. And it was just one of those things where it feels so frustrating, because Montreal realized how big of a game it was. And the thing that pisses me off so much is that Winnipeg sometimes realized how big of a game this was. They came out swinging. They did. But then it just... And then throwing an interception in the end zone. I'm starting to get sick of this. I've seen it now a few times from Collaros. And it's just... He doesn't get that ball high enough. And I know he's capable of it. I don't know what's going on with Zach Collaros there. So I think some people are panicking and saying blow up the entire team. I'm not saying that. I don't think that's necessary. I think there's going to be a few guys that do get moved. Honestly, I think there's an actual chance that Adam Big Hill may not be a Blue Bomber next season. I think that's a realistic possibility. I think they'll definitely look to keep the bookends in Jackson Jeffcoat and Willie Jefferson, and I can't blame them. Jake Thomas would be nice to keep. That last defensive lineman, that's where I'd like to see someone younger get in there. I want to see Liam Dobson move full-time into the offensive line. Offensive line. Jamarcus Hardrick did not have a good game. He didn't. And it's one of those things where I want to make sure this is very, very clear. When I say that someone didn't have a good game, do I mean what I say? Of course I mean what I said. However, at the end of the day, we win as a team, we lose as a team. That's how it works. So even if I say that someone didn't have a good game, I'm not saying that I said that Jamarcus Hardrick did not have a good game, in my opinion. Am I saying that we lost because of Jamarcus Hardrick? Absolutely not. No, we didn't. I'm just saying it's one factor in a multi-factored equation. And, and it was one of those things where, not going to lie, after that performance, I can see why I didn't win Offensive Lineman of the Year. And again, this doesn't factor into regular season stuff. But it's one of those things where it's hindsight's 20/20. You're going to see it. Jamarcus Hardrick, I was just mad because Jamarcus Hardrick was getting beaten inside, which pisses me off. When you're an outside tackle, if you get beat outside, that's one thing, because that outside D tackle has all the room in the world to deal with. If he beats you inside, that means that he's beating you between you and your off and your guard that's next to you. Which means that they have a limited amount of room to work with, and any room that they get is because you're giving it to them. Jamarcus Hardrick gave him that path. Got sacked. Collaros got sacked twice that way. And I'm not impressed. I'm sick. I'm pissed off, and I'm not gonna lie. This loss sucks a lot more than the Toronto one did. It really does. Because the thing is that with the Toronto one, you could talk about the talent that the team had and this and that. And I'm not saying that Montreal does not have that talent. Obviously they did. But it's one of those things where this is not us. NHL analogies. Let's bring this in. This is not us getting beaten by the Tampa Bay Lightning back when they were really in their prime. This is us getting beat by the St. Louis Blues, who just got hot for 1 year. And that grinds my gears. And I'm not saying that Montreal is going to be bad next year. I'm not. I'm saying that Montreal kind of came out of nowhere, considering halfway through the season they had a losing record. And then all of a sudden they won a whole lot of games and then won the Grey Cup. I mean, props to them. They did it. But it's one of those things where it's I hated all I'm someone who took the Bombers. I did. However, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little annoyed with how many people took the Bombers, because it was one of those things where we kept painting this underdog narrative, and just I hate it when that happens, because all that's going to do is motivate the other team. And I mean, well, it obviously worked, and I don't want to talk about this game anymore. Rick, you give your 2 cents, please.
So I was actually gonna go off on a side note for a second,
please.
So the difference between this 2023 and 2024 is actually the salary cap's going. I just did the math. The salary cap's going up $135,000.
Okay.
And this is going to be the first year that the players start to get revenue sharing. And the players, the minimum salary goes down $1,000 for minimum players.
Down.
Yeah, it goes from 71 this year to 70,000.
Oh. Is there any thoughts you have on the actual game, though? We can talk about all these things in a different video.
No, I know. Just I mean, to see David Cote not kick a field goal, that was quite interesting. I mean, outside of Montreal, only needed 4 receivers, if anything. Yeah. They only needed Mac, Philpont, Speaker, and Snead. That's about it. No one else needed to show up.
Yep.
I mean, Stanback still got almost 70 yards on 9 carries. So, I mean, he was still... Fajardo missed five passes.
Austin Mack played out of his mind. I thought Austin Mack was winning the MVP. I really thought he was.
I mean, what with that one-handed catch that
Not
he had?
even just that. Even just from start to finish, Austin Mack had a phenomenal game. I totally get why they gave it to Fajardo. I'm just saying is that Austin Mack is another great choice. I'm frustrated. I don't want to hear. I want to say this now. I don't want to hear, and you know what? I don't want to hear.
He's pointing this at me.
I don't want to hear. No, this is not pointing at you. This is pointing at me. This is pointing at the rest of. This is pointing at true Blue Bomber fans. I don't want to hear the word dynasty at all. Throw it away. Get the F out of here. I don't want to hear that word. That is it, could it be? Until it happens, it's not. Until it happens, it's not. I don't want to hear it. You know what? No. We've lost 2 straight Grey Cups. We have lost that right for that word.
Okay. I do have a quick question for you.
Yep.
As a non-Bomber fan.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to steer this towards the dynasty or not.
No, just ask the question.
However,
yeah,
because Collaros is getting up there in age. I mean, besides him, I know there's going to be other quarterbacks that come up in the league. Do you see, I don't really, I'm not trying to say rebuild, but kind of
I could see the Bombers doing a retool. Yeah, no,
I could see a retool.
I could see them doing a retool
and having a down year or 2 soon.
I don't think next year is going to be a necessarily a down year. I think it might be down from where we were this year, but I don't know if it would necessarily be this big down year where nothing works or whatever. Rick, you kind of glitched out there for a second. Did you hear what I said or no?
So all I heard was not necessarily.
Fair. Yeah, no, I said I don't think it'll necessarily. I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be down year. I think it might be down from where they were this year. But in terms of a complete failure of a year, I don't think it'll be that bad. And it's one of those things where I think that the Bombers are gonna reevaluate. I think there's some. I just get worried about stubbornness in the sense of I wouldn't be surprised if there's some on this team that are going to be the Bombers for life guys that get old as hell and really aren't able to play the way they used to, and they will retire as a Bomber. And as much as that's kind of nice and this, good book closing ending, it's one of those things where it's like, if we want to win, we got to do what's best for the team. So I expect some guys to stick around. I expect some guys not to. Dalton Schoen and Nick Dembski gotta be the targets of the receiving core. Rashid Bailey is Rashid Bailey's going to be gone. Rashid Bailey's going to be gone. Kenny Lawler probably is going to be gone.
Oliveira signed for next year?
No, but Oliveira, like the Bombers will throw the book at them if they had to. Oliveira is not moving under any circumstance, because firstly, it's one of those things where, Oliveira, he is from Winnipeg, so that does help. Harris, keep in mind, Harris was at the end of his career. So that at that point he was just chasing the money. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to be willing to match any offer that Brady Oliveira could get from anyone. Brady Oliveira is going to be making bank next year. And if I'm the Bombers, you should have him signed
north of 200,000?
I could see around 200,000. If it's north, I think it's a little north. Maybe not by a whole lot.
So you think that they'll probably lose a couple of key players next year on offense, anyways?
Yeah. I see Rashid Bailey is gone. I don't see any way that we keep Bailey. I see most likely Kenny Lawler, just because it's one of those things where I think the money, you have to realize Dalton Schoen was on an entry-level contract, and Dalton Schoen is absolutely more a priority than Kenny Lawler is. So Dalton Schoen's going to get the paycheck. Nick Dembski, he's going to stick around. In terms of the offensive line, I feel like we could see some changes there. I'm not exactly
I have
sure
some inside sources from Kenny Lawler himself. He is not. I have inside sources from Kenny Lawler himself that he is not going to Edmonton.
Oh yeah, that don't go to Edmonton. Yeah, I heard that. I thought that was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Although to be fair, wouldn't be the worst time to go to Edmonton now that they got Trey Ford. I think he's waiting for Chris Jonesy boy to get out of there.
My thing is, this offseason is going to be interesting because I think a lot of players will be switching pages.
Yep.
And not only that, until May, when the draft comes and stuff like that.
Yep.
Or at least, I shouldn't really say May. I would say at least till free agency starts. Because not only do you have the schedule that comes out in 3 to 4 weeks, because it's usually middle of December. Then you have January. I'm not sure if it's January 1st or January 15th. A lot of people make bonuses. So if teams aren't going to pay those bonuses, you'll see a lot of players released from that. So now you have speculation for the next month and a half if Bo's going to be coming back, because he's guaranteed a bonus in January. Mm-hmm. Like, there's going to be so many people you'll see released if they're going to be within the next month and a half.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just to go back to the game, I did say, and I'm not here to make fun of anyone, but to see Montreal fans bawl and cry when that clock hit 0, I'm going to take a page out of the MasterCard commercial. That was priceless.
I see. In what way?
Carter. Well, no, just because, usually, I guess not in a sense of, crying and upset. I don't know who the guy's name was that was behind me. But, when he saw that catch or that touchdown with 11 seconds left, I could have sworn this guy was going to, I don't know how old he was, but it was almost like he was going to name his firstborn off of these players. Because, everyone,
His name is going to be Tyson.
If anyone was going to mortgage their house to go to the Grey Cup, that last night, if you're a Montreal Alouettes fan, would have been the night to go.
Yeah.
Or even if you had money on the Alouettes to win the Grey Cup since the very beginning of the season.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think I've pretty much said all I said. I did a bit more ranting and raving than I intended to because I really don't like talking about this game. And so it was one of those things where, like, I don't like talking about this game, but, like, I have to twice. And then once I start talking about this game, it just all comes out. And, like, well, I was so I don't know, like if anyone hasn't, check out 30 Minutes of Suffering, where I talk about this game right after it happened. Like, just to give you context, when I was recording that, it was during the awarding of the trophy. I didn't stay to watch. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see them raise the damn trophy. And again, this is not like a disrespect thing. I 100% respect the Alouettes. They were the better team. They outplayed. They won. They earned it. There's nothing that they gain from me sitting there and watching them get the trophy. They get the trophy. That's what they wanted. I made the video there because I was just so frustrated and pissed off. It is the most passive-aggressive video I've ever had. You know, in the video where we lost to Toronto, there's a lot of this, oh, well, at least we got this far and this and that. There's none of that. There's none of that in that video. It was just, this is where we are. I'm pissed off. It sucks. I am disgusted. I'm bewildered. I'm annoyed. I'm confused. I'm so many emotions and none of them are positive.
All I can say is a couple of things. A, all those Toronto fans that are making fun of us because we lost to Montreal, karma's a biatch for you. And second of all those Bomber fans, no pun intended, but I kind of get happy over seeing you guys all.
Yeah, no, I understand
not because
why.
of you. Not because of you, but
because we beat you guys twice in the finals and you guys saw us lose twice in the finals.
No, I want to say up until the third quarter, so like the first half, Winnipeg fans were getting too cocky, the ones that I saw anyways.
Yep. Yeah, no, it sounds about right.
Everyone should know in the CFL, no lead is a good lead.
Yeah, no,
Speaking from experience.
you know what? I love Bomber fans. I love Bomber. I love the true blue Bomber fans. However, there's one thing that annoys me. At IG Field, when we're winning by 3 points and don't have possession of the ball with a minute left in the game, whoever is doing the music, stop playing Sweet Caroline!
You know what?
No, Sweet Caroline. No wave. We're winning by 3 points with a minute left. Shut up. Watch the game. I am sick and tired of hearing Sweet Caroline when we're either losing or barely winning in the last parts of the game. That is not a very Sweet Caroline moment.
So first of all, you're not the only one because they do it in Hamilton too.
I know. It's this football thing where, like, when it's like, let's see if we can 10 feet. Sweet Caroline. Like, it's like, no.
One other thing that I will say is, when you guys were up by 3 with that little time left, my honest prediction, I kid you not, was that Montreal was going to run it down, kick a field goal. It was going to go to overtime, but instead of you guys winning it in overtime, it was Montreal winning in overtime.
You know what I really wanted and I really thought was going to happen? When we
got for a touchdown at the end of the game?
When we forced the Alouettes to 3rd and 5. I really thought we were going to do everything we could to make sure that pass
Wasn't that when the
was
penalty
incomplete.
was on it and you guys got the first down? Or they got the first down?
No, that was the one where it got forced to 3rd and 5, and they went for it on 3rd because there was like a minute left in the game, and we would have been able to kill the clock. And so they couldn't. They were too far to kick.
Oh,
and so they had
they had to throw
Fajardo
rush. No.
Yep, that was no, that was they had a pass for Austin Mack, on that one, and then they kept the rush.
I will give you guys credit.
But the thing is that if the Bombers stop that play, it's over. That's it. Turnover on downs. Bombers have enough time; they can kill the clock.
I was actually quite surprised when you guys those 3 videos that I sent you of you guys shutting them down on the goal line 3 times.
Those videos, yeah. Yeah.
Where it's like first time okay, not too bad. Then they sent in Evans for the second time.
Yeah.
Didn't get anywhere.
Oh, so hyped.
And then they
one Bomber we absolutely have to keep. Dakota Prukop is the greatest quarterback in short yardage I've seen in some time. He is so goddamn good. Like, literally, every time the Bombers needed 2 yards, he got like 3 or 4. And I've been saying this for week after week after week after week. Bombers, if you can do everything you can to keep him as a short yardage quarterback, please do so.
Okay. With that being said, would you keep Prukop and save on a backup quarterback salary and spend that money elsewhere? Or would you keep Collaros, Brown, and Prukop?
So hold on a second.
In that sense of, so I'll just.
So when you say keep, when you said that first option, you said keep Prukop. Who would we not be keeping in that scenario?
No. So what I'm saying is, do you keep Prukop and have him as your short yardage and backup, and use Drew Brown's salary, say to?
Okay, so drop Drew Brown. Drop Drew Brown and use the money elsewhere. Okay.
And then bring in like a 3rd string person, like a young rookie as a 3rd string, and use that money either to put towards Oliveira and Schoen's contract or keep another player.
I don't know.
I will. Okay,
I don't know, because the thing is that Drew Brown actually has some decent potential. We saw it this year, so it's one of those things where I'd still go with Collaros, Brown, and Prukop because of how much promise Drew Brown did show this year. I think it's one of those things where I think when he shows that much promise, you don't just throw it away for nothing. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not necessarily saying that Drew Brown is going to be the all-destined guy to take over Collaros' job. I'm not saying that. But it's one of those things where I'm saying Drew Brown has done well. So it's one of those things where if Drew Brown starts getting a little bit more playing time, which I wouldn't be opposed to, then I actually think that it might be the best to keep all 3 quarterbacks.
So my whole example with the Ticats was, and kind of just a small off topic, is whoever you have, Thompson, Mitchell, whoever you have as starter.
Yep.
Get rid of Schultz. Spend that $125,000 somewhere else.
Yep.
Have Powell as the 2nd string, and then even keep in Loxley as a short yardage because he did well on short yardage.
That's fair.
And then spend that $125,000 elsewhere.
Yeah, you definitely can do that. I mean, like, again, this is one of those things where, like,
we could go in.
It could go either way, but we're gonna be going through each of the teams, and we're gonna be reviewing their season, and we're gonna be talking about where we think they need to go. We're gonna talk about free agency. We're gonna talk about guys they should sign, guys they shouldn't, and whatnot. So we're gonna get into all the nitty-gritty details in that regard. Just kind of touched on it a little bit as it was relevant to this game. But I think that's pretty much all we got. Is there anything else you got? No? Yeah, so this has been 34 minutes about talking about my depression. I think it's important that Anytime the Bombers blow a game this badly, that me and Rick have this therapy session in which I let out all my frustration to remind me of the fact that I don't know where I'm going. I just honestly I don't want to talk about this damn game anymore. Make sure you guys share, and subscribe. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already.
It could be a lot worse. You could be an Elks or a Red Blacks.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to hear about it. Can be worse. I don't want to hear it could be worse. It was Grey Cup or bust. It was bust. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you guys comment down below if you want to see more of my misery. I'm sure there will be more. And
I got my prediction right.
Yeah. Bye-bye.